All right, with me now here at the March for Life is the former Deputy Press Secretary of the Trump administration. We go way back.
We do.
We used to interview all the time during those days.
All the time.
Tell me what you're doing now.
I'm working for the Center for Election Integrity, focused on making sure states have good laws that protect every legal voter and every legally cast ballot. And we're focused on kind of some 16 significant states for presidential elections, but the laws out there need some work, and so we're working to show not only that a vast majority of the American people support it, to the tune of 85% for photo ID, for example, and ballots being turned to election officials by election day, and some other issues, but also showing how those measures actually restore some of the faith, trust, and confidence in these elections that we've lost for the last 20 plus years.
Incredible, incredible. I'm very happy to hear that. Like I said, this is almost deja vu because we talked so much.
It is.
During your time at the White House. Talk to me about this march. I mean, the energy here is electric. There's young people everywhere.
It always is, and this is one of those rare things in Washington. It happens every year.
Yep.
It gets bigger and bigger every year. The people are excited, they're friendly, they're happy. Regardless of where the law is, there's always a hope for the future and for the protection of every human life. And they leave the park cleaner than when they found it. They come to DC, descend on this town in the most ridiculous weather conditions on the planet.
This is the coldest year that I can remember.
I was here one year, I was in the teens, and it had ice on the ground, but people always show up because they know how important it is to stand up for those who can't stand up for themselves. It is a wonderful display of the proper methods and the proper ways to rally in support of a very important issue.
And let me ask you, the million-dollar question is the Supreme Court just heard oral arguments for Dobbs versus Jackson Women's Health. Roe v. Wade could be on the chopping block, God willing. What's your prediction? What's going to happen?
Look, I'm praying that the justices understand, what life is and why it's important to protect it. I think one of the things we did in the Trump administration was actually put judges on the court, including the Supreme Court, that understood that fundamentally. So hopefully we can change that law. Obviously it doesn't outlaw abortion after that. It goes back to the states. They get to decide after that. But it's a step in the right direction because at our core, this country is about protecting life. When people are trapped in a mine or when there's a hurricane or a tornado, we're always searching for those who are trapped. We want to find when that building collapsed in Florida, we search for life. That's who we are at our core. It's time that we have laws in this country, in every state, that protect that life. And this is a great way to hear where the youth of America is, because they understand it's right there in the Constitution, the right to life. It's the first one.
It's the first one.
And so people get that, and I think there's a wave going across this country in a lot of the colleges and, of course, in the older population, too, understanding the importance and significance of this issue and where this country needs to be. So I hope the judges and the justices on the court understand that and rule the right way.
And in a post-Roe America, if the Supreme Court justices do what the Constitution calls for them to do, what does that look like?
It's interesting. I know the left already has their talking points lined up, and they have the bullhorn of every major media outlet, of big tech, of Hollywood, of the colleges and universities. So they're going to work into overdrive to say that what we did was outlaw your right as a woman, which is not at all what that is. States will then have the rights to decide what they do with abortion, and that's where our fight changes. And one of the reasons it's so significant that we're working with state legislatures now on voting issues is because if this community here wants life to be protected at the state level, you have to have people elected who will support life, and you can't get them elected if those elections are rife with fraud and illegalities and irregularities and anomalies. So it kind of works hand in hand to make sure that the right people get elected to do the right things that the country wants them to do.
Yeah, and like I said, we're going to have a much longer conversation about what you're doing, because this is of interest to everyone here. This march is incredible as always. Good to see you. Thank you for being here.
Sure, thank you so much.
If you haven't already, give this video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button below, and ring the bell to make sure you never miss a video.